Hey everybody, Jim Malone here, coming to you live on Dallas Trading Floor. Well, it is Tuesday. It's been raining like crazy here in Dallas. My flowers are liking it, but not me, not so much. Oh well. Um, but I want to get into some. I don't know what's going on. Oh, what do you know? Okay, well maybe I can. There we go. I think that's working better. Let me see. I may have to. May have a technical issue here. Hold on. There we go. Okay. I think I think that's working. Let's go. Oh, I see. I made a mistake. Oh god. Hold on. So let me get my TikTok up again. All right. See if I can start over. All right. I didn't put it on live. There we go. There we go. Getting everything ready here. Sorry for the delay, everybody. But there we go. Yeah. Okay. Now we're on TikTok. Okay. Thanks. Oh, by the way, if you're watching on TikTok, you can just jump on over to my webpage at youtube.com/Dallas Trading Floor. So it is Tuesday. It is raining. Fortunately, the rain has stopped. But let's get into some of the let's get into some of the slides here. It seems like the market seems to be firming up somewhat, not totally though. So I just kind of want to go through some of the slides here. We're in a confirmed uptrend still, which is good. The Nasdaq is reading 13,663.12 just a few minutes ago. Now, really, where we need to be, we're above the 50-day line, which is good, but we really need to be up to about 14,000 on the Nasdaq. That's really kind of where I think we're gonna see some support. But we are seeing a movement, tepid as it may be, back into some of the Nasdaq stocks, mostly the large caps. So they seem to be doing well. Apple's up slightly today. Tesla not so much. The S&P is down just ever so slightly, and the Dow is down a little bit. So kind of what we have is a sideways market, and sideways markets are tough to trade. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I trade spreads and covered calls when I'm in a sideways market because it's just easier to make money. Though I will say, we closed the space Virgin Galactic trade today. We're in about 4 days, and it was tremendous. It was up over 20%. So we share these trades with the people that are subscribed to our special Discord service and also our action trade alerts. And you can get on the action trade alerts. Those are free, and you can get on those easily. www.Dallas Trading Floor. Well, anyways, this is how the market is trading. So it's kind of sideways. I want to show you this chart on Bitcoin. I think it's very instructive. I think you got to be, if you're trading Bitcoin right now, you have to be very careful. Look at this chart. We saw this tremendous rise, and then we've just seen this pullback. What's happening now, right now, as of a few minutes ago, Bitcoin was trading $37,752.80 for every US dollar. Well, the problem is it moved down to about 30. It's bounced back up, but I believe it's a dead cat bounce. So I think you have to be extremely careful if you're trading Bitcoin right now. I would consider hedging. I would consider possibly lightening up your load, or maybe even, getting out until it firms up. But it is definitely in a downward trend, as you can see on this chart. So be very, very careful if you're trading Bitcoin now. I mean, I'll revisit this later in the show, but be very careful because I think that a pullback is imminent. I do believe that if we fall through about 30,000, that's a key level of support, and that's right about here. If we fall through that, and we're very close, then I think we're all the way down to 20,000. So be very, very careful if you're trading Bitcoin right now. I think it's difficult to trade it, and I would be lightening up right now. Just see if we can get some support because it's going to be, it could be some rough sledding. So be very, very careful there. Just want to show you the 3 of the ETFs that I track very, very closely because these ETFs kind of tell the story. The first one, of course, is the Spider. and this is at one time this was the world's largest ETF. It basically covers the S&P 500 index. It's slightly off today, but it has been doing of the major ETFs that cover the index, the Diamond, the Spider, and the Qs. This has been doing probably the best of the bunch. We came down, we bounced off the 50-day moving average, and we've been moving up. It's pulled back a little bit today, but the volume is very weak. So this seems to be kind of going sideways. So the S&P seems to be kind of going sideways. This is what it's telling us. Now the other one that I want to concentrate on is the QQQ. Finally, we're getting some action on the Qs. The reason the Qs are so important, especially the QQQ, is because this covers the top 100 stocks that are in the NASDAQ. So these are dominated by the Microsofts, the Apples, the Googles. The FANG stocks are in here. So what we're starting to see capital come back into the FANGs. Now, it's not coming back like it was last year. It's nothing like it was last year, but at least it seems to be firming up. It seems as if the best of the bunch in terms of the FANGs are Alphabet, Google, and probably Facebook. The other ones, Apple is a little bit weak. Microsoft is doing fairly well, but I think you've got to watch out for Netflix. I just did what they call a broken butterfly on Netflix. I think that's wounded a little bit, and so be careful. But we do see momentum back into the queue, so that's a good thing. Just kind of want to show you what stocks I have currently. These are the stocks I'm holding long. Of course, I have Apple. It's down a little bit today, just about 50 cents, not a lot. It seems like there's some resistance right at about 127. That seems to be kind of a resistance area. I'm off a little bit on Matador, but I've done well in the oil stocks, Matador and on Whiting Petroleum. These are two of the smaller E&P companies that are based here in the U.S. And these have done fairly well. And I suspect they will continue to do well. Whiting is up, Matador is down, but basically they have performed fairly well. Again, low volume. Newmont Mining, well, this is a gold miner, this world's largest gold miner. It's down a little bit. Don't know what's going on here. It just seems to be kind of going sideways. Again, low volume. Nvidia is going to be announcing earnings basically on Thursday. I have a spread on that one. And that seems to be doing very well in terms of the volume. It's off a little bit today, but it moved past a very key buy point, that buy point being about 600. It's up, considerably above that at 624.33. Now, Copart, this is the company that basically disassembles cars. These guys are the kings of the junkyard. Actually, they're based right here in Dallas. It's amazing, but they are. This one has been, this is off a little bit today, but this has been a pretty good performer. Not stellar in terms of moving up very fast, but just kind of slow and steady runs the race. Now, I want to show you this one that I started to build a position in basically last week, and this is the GLD, the Spider Gold shares. There's a lot of inflation worries right now, and this one seems to be performing well. I basically got in it at 175. It's up to 177.79 in a few days, which is significant for this because gold is very slow moving. So that's kind of something that you might want to take a look at. Okay, so thanks for bearing with me on that. Let's get into some of the questions from everybody. So appreciate you waiting. Thanks, Kyle. And you're looking at SSTK. All right, SSTK. Let's bring up the chart on SSTK. See if I can put something together here for you. I'm not sure what I'm not in SSTK. So, but let me pull up the chart here. SSTK. All right, and come on, baby. There we go. All right, SSTK, Shutterstock. Okay, well, this is interesting. This is an interesting area. There's another one. The competitors of this, I guess, would be Getty Images and possibly Corvus. I think that's the other one. These digital online digital imaging. Interesting business. Don't particularly like the chart though. We had this opportunity, this buy point here at 95. 29. It did move into the buy zone, but then it's moved back. It's trading below the 50-day line. So I would be very careful on this one, even though it does have an excellent relative strength of 85, looking fairly good on that. And it does look like it is doing okay. It did have some nice earnings. I think it's just got to be a little bit careful on this one. Here's the industry rank. The industry rank is 180 out of 197. I just think you could probably do better than this. I wouldn't consider this one. Even though the chart's not bad. It's not a bad chart. It's just I don't think that. I just think there's better places to fish. That's all. All right, good question, Stephen. Thank you so much for this one. And that's on Boeing, BA. And of course, this is the largest exporter in the United States for many, many years. This has been a very significant Dow component. And Boeing is the largest exporter in the United States, exporting probably more dollar value than any other company. It's an interesting company. It has been rallying as of late. The thing about Boeing is, we're still dealing with that weak demand from the airlines, and until they buy airlines, Boeing, I think, is going to be a little bit suspect. I did draw a trend line here. It looks like we do have a reversal on it right below the 50-day line. But let's look at the weekly chart to see. I have not been trading Boeing. I did in the COVID recession. I did short Boeing, but since then I haven't really done anything with it. Right now, it's in this consolidation range. Relative strength is 69. Would I buy it here? Well, I've got some issues with. The link's not working. I have some issues with. Let me see if I can get the link over to the people that are watching on in the Discord room right now. So sorry about that. Let me just grab that link and see if I can get a. Let me see if I can get a link for everybody there. We're live right now, so let me go in and grab that link, and hopefully this will work. There we go. Okay. All right. And we'll get right back to get them a link. There we go. I think we've got a link to the Discord room. So there we go. Anyways, talk to the people that are on the special Discord room. But anyways, let's get back to Boeing here. With Boeing, we're in this consolidation pattern. Let's kind of look at this. Let's kind of look at the checklist to see sort of how it's doing. 55. This just really is not. I would watch list this one right now, but I probably would not be a buyer of Boeing right now. It's just right now. I just don't think it's the right time for Boeing. Great company, but I think I'd have to pass on Boeing right now, just because it is a little bit of a downward trend. So I think we have to be kind of careful on that. All right, question. Hey, Paulie, thank you very much. Let's look at AMC. This is for a possible short squeeze, and of course, if you follow Wall Street Bets in Reddit, there's the ones that really put forward a lot of these theses on the short squeeze. The problem with dealing with the short squeeze, of course, is that you can get. I mean, it's very highly leveraged, and you can get in some difficulties. So be very careful if you're playing these. Now, is this a short squeeze? Well, let's go to the daily chart to see. Yeah, there is a movement, and I have trend lines on this already drawn. This is the level of consolidation here, right at this line. So I'm going to reactivate that line here. So we definitely are above it. Is this a short squeeze? No, this doesn't look like a short squeeze to me. This looks like what they call a pocket pivot. This looks like a pocket pivot and a move out from that. Now, Could you buy this? Well, I don't know. I'd be a little bit careful buying it here, but here's the thing. If you do go in on this one, and it's up 15%. Here's what you need to do. It does if it is breaking out. If you do buy it, immediately put in a stop loss at $15. Okay, if you decide that you want to go into this one, and again, I'm not recommending anything here, but you want to put your stop loss when you buy this. You want to put a stop loss immediately, a market stop loss at that, immediately right here at 15. And as it moves higher, you want to push this stop loss up. Eventually, this will pull back and fail, and then you'll be sold out. But remember, if you do buy this one, I could see where you're interested in this one for a potential short squeeze. If you do that, immediately put your stop loss in and move that stop loss up. Eventually, it'll pull back, and you'll be sitting pretty. So that's kind of my take on AMC. I wouldn't buy AMC for a long-term investment, but you definitely can play it as a day trade. I'm not in it currently, but definitely you could do that. I would immediately set a stop loss at about 15, and then if it moved higher, then I would move that stop loss up. So there might be something there to it. Let's see what CH says. Hey Jim, update about okay. Again, I put out. I'm going to show you this little chart that I have on Bitcoin that I put out today for everybody that was at the beginning of the show. And basically, what this is, I'm going to go share my screen again. But I'm going to go up and show you the chart, the Bitcoin chart. Basically, this is the Bitcoin chart as of a few minutes ago, and this is over a fairly large period of time. This is really since January of this year. So you can see it just started to appreciate very, very nicely. Sort of hit its peak, at about 61, 62, then came down, bounced, and came down again. I do believe that if we don't get support at about 30,000, it's going to go back down to about 20. That's my guess. Currently, it's trading as of a few minutes ago about 37. Here's the thing. I'd be very, very careful about buying this right now. As you can see, it's in a downward trend. It is absolutely in a downward trend. I do not like to buy in a downward trend. I only like to buy in an upward trend. So right now, I wouldn't be a buyer of Bitcoin. As a matter of fact, I'd be lightening up. I would be moving to something else. Now, here's something you might consider if you do have some profits in Bitcoin. This is kind of maybe an alternative idea for you, but that would be possibly to move some of your profits over to an ETF that is, I think, might work very well for you in this particular situation. And that ETF is GLD, Gold, GLD. And basically what this does is it tracks the price of the bullion underneath. And that has been going up as of late. And the reason I basically am in this one, I put a spread on this one, and I am in this one as it crossed above the 200-day line. Now, typically, where I like to buy these is as they move above the 200-day line. If you'll notice on this ETF, there is an upward motion on this. We're going basically from Los Angeles to Boston, kind of instead of Seattle to Miami. So we're going in the right direction on this one. It's moved up nicely today. This is not a very fast performer, but this can possibly keep some of your gains. So what I would do is if you're up on your Bitcoin, consider selling half of it and putting into something like this, GLD. That might help because I don't believe this one is going down, whereas I'm not so sure about Bitcoin right now. Not so sure. That could be a difficulty. Let's take a question from TikTok. Thank you for holding so much. And by the way, hopefully pretty soon I'm going to have the ability to show my charts on TikTok. Right now, unfortunately, you have to go over to YouTube, youtube.com/Dallas Trading Floor. I'm showing all the charts, and you might be interested in that. All right, let's look at, okay. I'm looking at everything here that everyone has to say. What do you think about you could do AMC for a short-term play. That's let's see if I've got anything. What would you buy for the long term? Well, basically, there is something I would buy for the long term. I'm not in it currently because I typically am a short-term trader. But if you just kind of want to set and forget one, I do think, and this sounds like super obvious, but I want to share it with you. BRKB. Now, what is BRKB? Well, BRKB is Berkshire Hathaway. And, Mr. Berkshire, Warren Buffett, he's about 90, I don't know, 95. I don't know. He's getting old on anyways. He just named his successor. His name is Greg Abel is going to be his successor. But, um, I think this is a very well managed company, and, it's made a lot of money for a lot of people over the years. I have owned this numerous times in my investing career, and I've always done well with it. Now here are the downsides with it. It has no option, so you can't do covered calls on it. That's kind of a downside for me. It tends to be kind of pokey, and right now the relative strength is below 75. Other than that, it sort of prints money. I mean, it's trading right at its 10-day line. It's right at its 10-line line. Now, I'm not recommending that you buy this. I'm not recommending you buy anything. But if you want a long-term hold, there are a lot worse places to be than BRKB. So for a long-term hold, this is a question from Tech Talk. This is one that you might want to do. Now, I wouldn't put my whole portfolio in it. I'd only put one position in there. What do I mean by one position? Well, if you take the value of your portfolio, let's say you have an $8,000 IRA. Let's say you have that. 1/8 of that is $1,000. That's how much you invested. $1,000 in Berkshire. That's one full position. So I wouldn't have any more than about one full position in this one, but this could be a good long-term bet for you, and it's done very well for a lot of people. So that's the one I kind of recommend long-term. All right, great question, Benjamin. Thank you so much. This is a company. This is called Path, Uipath, and it's got a very interesting story. Uipath is a software company, but they create bots that basically do repetitive type of tasks. And now, unfortunately, this is really bad for the clerks of the world because, many of those routine things that the clerks do, they could be automated away, and this would automate them. Very innovative company, Path, P-I-T-H. Now, you can see here by the note, I don't know if you can see this, I actually bought this at 79. Now, I did sell it. I am still waiting to come back in here because you can see it's pulled down here. It's basically round trip. I bought it at 68.90. It's pulled down and then it's pulled up. So currently, it's trading right in the buy zone, right here. Now, here's the thing with this stock. This is a tough one to hold because the buy point on Path is basically on the what they call an IPO base. This is an IPO base is 83.44. Now currently it's trading for $84. So it's right in the buy zone. So you could buy this one right now. Now, I'd be a little bit careful about buying this one right now. Why? Because it's highly volatile. As you can see, it just kind of jumps all over the place. Normally, if I were to buy this, I would buy this and then put a 7% stop loss on this. But I think if you put a 7% stop loss on this one, you'd probably get shaken out probably in the first day or two. So if you buy this one, you might have to put a stop loss all the way down here at about 75. Not what I'd like to do normally, but that's sort of how I would trade it. I definitely think it's worth looking at because it definitely has a very nice look to it. This is the relative strength line on it. It's moving up. That's very bullish. And we have lots of nice, and unlike so many other software companies out there, this one just keeps racking up the sales. It's just racking up the sales. And we actually did have a profit, I believe. Yeah, we did. We had a profit on this one, not for the year, but we're just turning profitable on this one. So this one, if you want to take some speculative risk in your portfolio, and now again with Path, I wouldn't go out there and take half my portfolio and put it in this, but you might want to look at possibly a half position on this one. But I would be very careful. I'd set the stops very tightly on this one. I like this one a lot. I don't currently have it in my portfolio, but I do think it's worth looking at. I really do. I really do. I think it's a good bet, and you might want to look at it. Here's a question from Chander. Wow, that's terrific. He's up 50% on AMC. Let's look at that AMC chart again. Let me pull that up again. AMC. And that is terrific. This is obviously the stock's obviously in play. I mean, you can definitely make money on these moves. Yeah, and we moved above that key buy point. So you must have bought. Wow, you must have bought right at about 10. That's a good buy, as it broke out. So it did. It broke out from that from that from that trend line. So that was a very good buy. That was a very good buy. You can see this trend line. It broke trend, came back down, and then it moved up. So that was definitely a good place to buy it. Here's the thing. I'd be real careful with this one, even though it's moved up a lot. I would push my stop loss up because above about that 1454 level, I think you could get a little bit more. And I would definitely be taking profits at about 20. But for right now, put your stop loss in, move it up. If you get to about 20, consider possibly taking a profit. But that is excellent. That is excellent. Thanks for sharing that. I love it when people do so well on that. It's fantastic. Can you please update? Okay, it's in a down right now. CH Bitcoin is in a downward trend, even though we did have a bounce. That's what they call a dead cat bounce. So we want to be careful about entering any positions on that right now. It's just difficult. It's just a difficult place to be. All right. So I wouldn't be moving into Bitcoin right now. I'd be very, very careful about Bitcoin. I just would be very, 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 very reticent about Bitcoin. Let's check in on a stock that I sold this morning. Maybe I got shaken out of it, but that was because I was aggressive in pushing up my stop loss. This is Virgin Galactic, and they're going to have earnings here pretty quick. So I kind of want to check in on them. It looks like they're pulled back, so it looks like I kind of did get pretty much all the money there because I sold out right at about 25.50. That's where I had my stop loss. I'd pushed it up. I'd gone basically from this reversal up, so I feel pretty good about that. Looks like we're going to have earnings here, and yeah, we're gonna have earnings. They won't have any quote unquote real earnings because they're but because they have negative cash flow. But it probably now is not the time to initiate a position. Let's see if it trades above the 200-day line, and then we could possibly go back in. So I may get back into this one after earnings. Interesting story. Always made money on trading space, but I've been in and out of it. I've been in and out of it. All right, let's Bitcoin. Oh, hey, thank you. Another one, EXPR. Let's look at EXPR. EXPR is Express. I don't know Express. Interesting. It's in the retail apparel group. That's a good group. Right now, retail has been just doing fantastic. The question is there a place to buy it? And let's see. I guess this is okay. Yeah, I don't like this chart at all. This is more of a penny stock. It's under $10 a share. I just don't think this is the one you want to be in right now. It's I know and it's got earnings in 9 days. Let's see if we can find a better alternative here for the retail apparel sector, because this is really heating up. This area is good, and I think we might be able to find an alternative to Express. I don't particularly like that. It wouldn't be for me Express, but I don't want to just. I like the group a lot, and what I'm doing here is I'm looking at the group strength, and this is kind of where the capital is moving in the market. Now, number 7 on this list, there's 197 different sectors, is this retail shoe and apparel group. And this has been seeing a lot of love by a lot of the funds and a lot of the money as of late. It's got a relative strength of 96, the group as a whole. Now, let's see where the leaders are, because I always like to go, if I'm in a group that's doing very, very well, I like to see where the leaders are. I want to take a look at TJX. This is the parent company for TJ Maxx, and it looks like it has fallen. Fallen below this line, so this probably wouldn't be here. But this is where I'd kind of look for potential, for potential in this area. So let's see if I can look at another one in the area to see kind of if there's one in this group. I can go to my old friend Lululemon. Let's see how Lulu is doing. I was shorting Lulu. I'll be honest with you. It's still below the 200-day line. I'm not really that excited about Lulu. Let's see if I could find another one in the retail group that might make sense. I'm not trading this group that much, but I like it a lot. This is what IDX. I don't know this one. This is the largest. Oh, this is interesting. This is a Spanish retailer. Now, this is one you might want to look at. Absolutely. Look at this. Very nice chart, by the way. This is a Spanish retailer. This is by far the largest in the apparel group. I think this is the one, I'm not sure, but I believe the owner of this, the majority ownership of this, is one of the richest people in the world, if I'm not mistaken. This might be a way to diversify out of the US. Now, I'm not currently in this, but this is a Spanish retailer. They're the largest in the world. It's traded, it's just above a pivot here, but it's right on the on the 10-day line. This is something you might want to take a kind of look at. I'm not saying it's a buyer or seller or anything, but it looks like it's improving with a good with a good checklist. Ownership is good. So this is one you might want to kind of make a note of this one if you're interested in the apparel retail group, which I do think is really good because when the economy recovers, this will do even better. This is IDEXY. IDEXY is the symbol on that one. So I'll try to put that up here for everyone to see. But the symbol for this one is IDEXY. That's the symbol, and it's a Spanish retailer, largest in the world. So that's something that you might want to put on your radar screen and look at because their numbers are very good and it looks very nice. In this group, in this apparel group, that's kind of the one that I would tend to look at as a potential. But thank you for that question on thank you for that question. Let's see. Okay, let's go to the comments. All right, here we go. Bitcoin. Okay, we've talked a little bit about Bitcoin. This is like, but basically, Bitcoin currently is in a downward trend. I want to show you this chart again. This would be not a very good time to enter Bitcoin. If you have Bitcoin profits, you might want to consider taking them. I'll show you again the chart for Bitcoin, and that basically is over here. And so let me go ahead and show you this. This is the Bitcoin price since the beginning of the year, and as you can see, it's moved up very nicely. It sort of hit its peak. It's ceiling. Currently, the ceiling for Bitcoin is about 61.5. That's about where it is. But as you can see, it's pulled back and then it's bounced and it's pulled back. I do believe we may get another dead cat bounce. Over the last weekend, it did go down momentarily. It was about 31 over the weekend, and it did hit 30, and then it bounced up. But this is a dead cat bounce. This is not the time to be buying Bitcoin. I think what you want to do, possibly, if you do have Bitcoin, is consider taking some of your chips off the table, especially if you have profits. I think that might be a good idea with Bitcoin right now, just because I think it's pulling back, and it's just it's just one of those things. Okay, well, all right. I gave you the information on that. Okay, let's look at the UAL, United Airlines, and let's take a look at that. There we go. UAL. Not one. I had a short on. I did a short on this one, and it has been moving up. But the problem with UAL is that UAL just doesn't have the. I just don't think this sector has the I mean, I think if you're going to be in the sector, you don't want to be in the ones that are flying international. You want to be in the domestics. And right now, the best of the domestics is probably Love, LUV, and that's Southwest. But UAL is, along with American and Delta, are the three really big American international carriers. I am not really. I mean, it has recovered the 50-day line, which is good. It has recovered the 50-day line, and possibly we could draw a reversal line here, and there is a potential that this is the beginning of a reversal. I could see you saying that would be the beginning of reversal. I'm going to put an alert on that line here, but right now it pulled up. It doesn't seem like it has. It seems like it's gaining power. So it does look like it must possibly is the beginning of a reversal. This is interesting. I wouldn't have thought this, but it does look like there's a potential of a reversal. I would wait on this one until we had some confirmation. I want to see this move above about 58 or 59 on up here to 60 before I'd consider jumping into it. But it does look like there is some strength. Let's see. The biggest problem is the airline transportation sector is one of the worst sectors out there. So we got to be extremely careful when it comes to that. So yeah, I think you could definitely watch this one. I personally probably would not buy this right away, but it does have a good checklist. 66 is very good. It looks like it looks like it's at the beginning of a reversal. The only problem is it looks like there's been a fake out before. So what I would do, if you're interested in this one, I would wait until it trades above about 59 to make your move. And then I think that, you might be good up to about 63, 64 if it breaks out of the consolidation. But right now, the buy point on this one is 63.70. It looks like it's making a reversal. I probably would not buy it until at least 58. I probably wouldn't buy it until at least 58 for UAL. So that's kind of my take on that. Just like to share with you a little bit about our special Discord room. We have a special Discord service for all of our members, and a lot of our members have done very well with that service. Basically, if you want to see it, I'm going to be putting out a spread trade. Maybe I think I have a spread trade on there right now. You can go to https www.vinny.com/u/Dallas Trading Floor. Now you got to put that U in there, and it has to be a lowercase. Why I don't know, but you do. But anyways, we have a community of like-minded traders, and we do have some special members-only stuff, stock trades and option trades. One of our members did very well today. I think. Let's see if I can pull up. Let me see if I can pull up the comment and show it to you, because we did do an early trade this morning on Space. Okay. What did we see here? I think we did pretty good. Let's see. Okay, let's see. I'm just looking for one of the trades that we had. Okay. All right. So here, I'm going to kind of show you a little bit, kind of what we do on yeah. This is an opening trade. This is for some of our people, we were able to we were able to get them in at about 19 or 20, and then in about 4 days we definitely made some money on the space trade, so on Virgin Galactic. So let me put this quote up so you can kind of see what I'm talking about here. There we go. And let's see if I go back to that. Yeah, and that's kind of gives you an idea, about how we were trading space today. 25.50 was the stop we put in. It did momentarily move above to about 26, but we captured almost 100% of the profit at 25.50. And basically, many of our members got in at about 19.50 and then rode it up, and then and had a nice pullback and made some good money on that. We also have a very nice trade going on Nvidia right now for our members as well. So that's kind of a little segue into some of the other stuff. All right, so let's get a question on DAC. Let's look at DAC. DAC. Yeah, it provides international seaborne transportation. Interesting. This has been a real hot sector, the shipping, and basically the leader in this one is ZIM, ZIM. Let's kind of check in on this DAC. It looks very nice. Staying right on the 21-day line, so that is very strong. 99 on the relative strength. Let's look at ZIM. I believe ZIM is still the leader. This is the Israeli National Shipping Company. Now, it's pulled back today to the 10-day line. Well, I'm not surprised, but this is still a stellar company. As you can see, it pulled back today. We had earnings. Obviously, they didn't quite I don't think it was a disappointment, but I wasn't stellar. But look at that, their sales are up 112%, and their profits were up, wow, almost 1,000%. This is amazing. This is the weekly chart on this IPO. It's done very, very well. I don't necessarily think this one's out of gas, but I just think that ZIM, it's right now it's difficult to buy it just because I want to see a reversal. So for ZIM, if you're following this one looking for an entry point, let it come down to the 21-day line. See if there's a reversal. If there's a reversal, then we could possibly buy it. But right now, I think you gotta watch this ZIM. And I know that was a question from some of the other people. So I think we've got to be a little bit more careful with this group right now. I want to look at the overall group to see if shipping is still as highly. Let's see if it's still as good as it was. Oh goodness. Let's see. Let's see if I can find. Well, okay, let's look for shipping. I don't think it's quite as good as it's been, but it's still pretty darn good. Yeah, transportation by shipping. It's the 11th best group right now. Show you the chart on that right away. Here we go. And basically, the overall group looks good. It looks like it's losing a little bit of strength, though. Let's look at the leaders in this group, because this has been such a strong group for the last about 2 months. It's been very, very strong. So Sam is number one, Kirby and Matson. Let's look at Matson. Matson is the U.S.-based company. Actually, they're based in Honolulu, Hawaii. Yeah, it's not a good overall trend. So I think that with this one, I think with the shipping area, I think you probably have to sort of take a wait-see attitude on that one, unfortunately. I just don't think it's as good as it's been the last 2 months on that. Okay, chart, please. Here's the thing: if you're watching on TikTok, you can see the charts. You have to go to youtube.com/DallasTradingFloor, because unfortunately right now I don't have the technical capability to broadcast the charts on TikTok. That's going to change shortly as we get new software. But I appreciate you taking a look at that. I really do. All right, what does it say about Polkadot? Okay, that's interesting. Go live. Okay, so yeah, this is where I'm going live right now. youtube.com/DallasTradingFloor. So let's take a next question. Thank you very much. Futu and Facebook, both good choices, by the way. I do have a spread. I have a bull spread on Facebook. Facebook is looking very good as of late. And I want to share you the chart with you. It's it's right. It moved right out of the buy zone. I think, if you were to buy it at this level, it's still a little bit extended, but it's just moving right off that 10-day line. So it's looking very, very strong. After hours, it's basically, trading flat, but that's okay. There was a buy point on it at 304.67, but we're a little bit past that right now. Still looking very, very strong. This relative strength line is a little bit weak at 67, but the trend is up. And overall, all these other ones have seen the trend going up. Here's the thing about Facebook. I do believe that we're going to see movement back into many of the FANG type stocks. The stocks that I really like right now that are on the big cap are Facebook, Google, Alphabet, and Microsoft. The ones I'm not as excited about is Netflix. I do have what they call a broken butterfly trade sprayed on this one, of course. And if you're a subscriber to the Discord service, we're going to be putting that out here in a few minutes. I just closed that trade right before I went on the air, so it might be an interesting trade and possibly a good moneymaker. Very, very little entry cost on that one. Okay, great. Said I'm finally up now. As I said, very most long term. Should I have bought some less? No. Rio Madrid. There's always. And by the way, thank you so much, Rio. Rio is in Germany, and many people. I'm so blessed to have people look at this show from all over the world. But no, Rio. There's plenty of time. I mean, I think that we're going to see. It's a tough market to trade right now. But I am getting more confident. I've been mostly in cash. I'll be honest with you. Since about February, I've been heavily into cash. I'm sort of putting my little toe in the water. I'm doing very conservative spread trades right now. We may get another pullback. We could have a massive inflation surge, but at least right now, it seems as if, at least for the time being, it seems like people are getting back into the water. So, you never know. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that famous scene in Jaws, where they're all going into the water, and then somebody yells shark. So I hope that's not the case with the market. I hope that's not the case. Anyways, Zim pullback is 6% enough to buy on the pullback. I would be a little bit concerned buying a pullback. I want to see a reversal. Let's look for a reversal. I wouldn't buy on a pullback. Buying on a pullback is. I'm not trying to be dismissive, but you don't want to buy in a pullback. You want to buy in a reversal. So let's look for a reversal for Zim. Let's look for a reversal to see. Yeah, there just isn't really a reversal right now. Here's what I think is going to have to happen on Zim for you to buy it. I want to see it move above 42.99. I'm going to put my this is sort of my line in the sand. So let me show you this. This is the little line that I've drawn here. I want to see it move above 42.99 before I'm interested in buying it again. I think it might just have come down here, touch the 10-day line, and then it might be moving up. But right now, I wouldn't buy it at 40.98. I would wait, see if it moves above 42.99, and if it does, then you probably want to do a maneuver that I, basically called a buy stop limit. And here's the way I would do the buy stop limit order. So the stop on this one would be basically 42.99. There we go, 42.99, and the limit on this one would be basically 43. 43.09 is where the limit would be. So I'm going to put that up for everyone. The reason I do it like this is because we want to see it confirm that it's moving higher. Right now, we have a sort of a ceiling here at about 42.99. It's pulled below that, and hopefully it's going to gain some strength and push back beyond that. But here's how I would play this one. Wouldn't buy this now at 40.98. Now you say, Jim, why don't you like deals? Don't you like bargains? Well, the problem is we don't know if this has changed direction. This may have changed direction downwards. But if it comes back to 42.99 and pushes above it with volume, then I think we can infer that we're still on this upward trajectory. So that's how I would buy. That's how I buy Zim. I think it's the best in breed right now in the shipping area for for bulk carriers. So it's a very good area, and I think quite a good deal. All right, so let's look at. Thank you, Ali. Appreciate it. Microsectors, U.S. oil, NRGU. Let's look at NRGU. NRGU. Okay, this is the 3x levered oil. I'd be a little bit, the thing about 3x is you got to really keep your stops tight on this one because they can move very, very, very quickly. Let's look at a 2x. There's a 2x called Gush. Let me see how that one's trading. This might be an alternative for you. GUSH is the symbol for it. This is the 2x bull. And this one's a lot, I want to look at the weekly on this one. Yeah, okay. So we're right almost at a buy point on this one. This is called Gush. Currently at 75. This is another one you might want to consider. This is an ETF, basically a 2x ETF. And this one looks like it is almost at a buy point here. There is a pivot. I want to see in that pivot. I'm going to set an alert on it. Yeah, it is a pivot on this one. So this one you might want to look at GUSH. That might be an alternative. I don't think you should go 3x on the oil because it just could get too dicey based on my experience because it can really move and it can move fast against you. Right. Okay, let's see. CRSR. Let's see if that's good. CRSR. Corsair Gaming. Okay, well this is an IPO that came out. It was very big. Of course, if you're into the gaming thing, these are the guys that make all the accessories. So it's got a very good market. Just went through earnings. Their earnings were spectacular. As you can see, sales up 72%, but earnings were up 383%. This company definitely has benefited somewhat from the pandemic. Would I buy it though? I don't know if I would buy this one because it is in a downward trend, and I just don't like to buy. I just don't like to buy stocks that have this trend from high to low. I just don't like that. So right now, I would probably skip Corsair. It's a nice company, but I think I'd skip this one. I don't think it's in the right direction. I think you want to buy an upward trend, and there's other opportunities out there that I think would be a little bit better than that one right now. Okay, question on Airbnb. It's probably one of the last questions we can have. Airbnb, I love Airbnb. I've stayed in Airbnbs in the Austin area. I like to go down there. By the way, if you're ever down there, there's a place called Barton Springs. It's a wonderful place to go swimming. It's spring-fed water, and it's run by the city, but very, very nice. ABNB is Airbnb's symbol. Just can't buy this one. The chart, I'm looking at the weekly chart here. The weekly chart on this one is just not the kind of chart you want. I have a reversal line on it. It's nowhere near that, so I think you just gotta pass on this one. It's sad to say, but I think you gotta pass on this one. Well, I think I have time for one more question. I have a short put spread on NTNX long put. Okay, I probably have to talk with you over. Let's see, we have a short put spread. Okay, so let me look at NTXT. Let me just kind of look at this one. NTXT. And let's look for Robbie here. NTNX, sorry, NTNX. There we go. Okay, well, interesting. I'm looking here at the weekly chart, and let's see. Yeah, okay. So we're below the cup. Looks like it's reversing. So I have to take a look at it, but it looks like it's reversing higher. Yeah, this is definitely a reversal. So the way you find that is, of course, you draw from the high point here, and you go down essentially to, and what I'm doing is I'm going down to where it crosses the well, let's see, where it crosses the 200-day line. So this is a reversal, and this is actually going higher the way I look at it. So is this a bull put spread? If it's a bull put spread, I think you're in great shape. It looks very nice, but I don't know if it's a bear put spread. I'm not sure, but this is definitely a reversal on this stock. Okay, well, thank you very, very much, everybody. I've almost gone. No, I have a few more minutes. Oh, I have 7 more minutes. Great. Let's see if we have another question from TikTok. All right. Okay. Okay, BTC bounced back from 35K. Do you think it will go back to 20K? Yeah, you know what? I think there's a very, very good chance that Bitcoin is, if it falls through about 30, 31, I think there's a very good chance that it's going to go down to 22, 20. So I'm sorry to say that. I mean, but here's the thing: if you're up on Bitcoin right now, consider possibly taking some of your profits because there's going to be ample opportunities. I just think that it's a good time if you've got profits to sort of take some of the chips off the table because I do think there's some downward pressure, and the charts definitely tell us that we're moving lower, at least for the time being. All right, let's do Polkadot DOT. See if we do some chart analysis here. My favorite subject, chart analysis. Okay, well, I don't think it. Let's see if I can get it to register DOT. No, I'm not getting anything with DOT. Sorry about that. I'm not getting anything there. Okay, let's look at AMC because a lot of people just said that right now that seems to be in the zone. Yeah, look at that. Wow, it's close. It's closing up. So here's the thing. Here's how I would play AMC. Depending on where you got in. If you got in at 15, actually, I wasn't playing this one today because I was working on another spread, but you know, my general overall thing is that this is a pocket pivot. The buy point really is above 1464 here when it moved above that. If you bought that and you rode that up, what I would be doing right now though is right now at 1650, I would take my stop loss. I would set it at 16 right here, because this could snap back. But you might be in for a nice ride of a day or two. We might see it. We might see another leg up. But typically, what happens in these, you have these legs up, and then the next day it opens down, and then you're up again. So if you have it in here, I would recommend setting your stop loss at about $16 right now on AMC. So that's what I would do. That's what I would do on AMC. So AMC stop loss set at $16. So that's kind of where I would be setting it. I would be setting it right about here, so that if it opens lower tomorrow, you'll be sold out at the market. Now, here's the thing with the market stop loss. Sometimes you don't get 16 because it'll open lower, it'll gap down. You'll basically get the first price below $16. But you got to be careful on this one. I wouldn't really want to hold this one overnight, just because. And then of course we're after hours now, so I can't really say that, but just because of the volatility. But it looks as if a short squeeze is going on. But if you look at how the other short squeeze played out, the first day it's up, and then it opens much lower, and then it comes back. And I think that's probably what's going to happen here as well. So just be forewarned. Make sure your stops are tight on that one, because it can be kind of devastating to see it just evaporate in front of you like that. Let's look at NEO. Now, I'm going to look at both NEO and Tesla, but let's look at NEO first, because they kind of trade in sympathy. The downward trend on NEO has been severe. You don't really want to be in NEO right now, just because really since about the first of the year, it just has not been doing well. I did have a trend line here that I thought we were going to have a reversal on. We did, but we still have a reversal, but it's extremely weak, and it looks like we're trying to claw our way back up to the 200-day line. Now we do have a reversal on NEO, but right now I wouldn't be piling into it. I just don't think this is the time. People will say, buying the dips. You don't want to buy this one on the dip because it can continue moving lower. But right now it's reversed, but it's just extremely weak. This is a very weak chart. Let's look at Tesla, and right now I have a bear spread on this one, because as you can see, Tesla just can't seem to get above about this 600 level and the 200-day line. This 200-day line is the black line here. We're once again pulling back. It looked promising in the morning. It's pulling back, but basically until Tesla can move above about 720 or 620 or 625, it's probably not going to be reversed. So right now, if we draw the line on Tesla, this is the reversal line on Tesla. I'm gonna put it. Oops. I'm gonna put the alert on it. It wants to. But this is the reversal line. Let's see if I can get that right. Yeah, there we go. Okay. No, it's not letting me. This is the reversal line. So really, in order to be back into Tesla, and basically the reason I talk about Tesla is because it's the proxy for all the other automobiles. In order to be back into Tesla, we really have to be about 635, above about that. And we're not there yet. We're at about 604. So right now, I think you got to be careful with NEO. I wouldn't be back in it. And also on Tesla, I think you got to wait until it reverses. It just has not fully reversed. So yeah, it's frustrating. It's frustrating. All right. Thank you very much. Snow price movement expectations, please, after ER. Let's look at Snow. And Snow was one of the widest subscribed IPOs practically that I've ever heard of. Everybody was piling into this one. It's got a great story. but stories alone just don't get it. Unfortunately, let's go to the weekly chart. This has been sort of a disappointment for a while. It's been on this steady trend down. I'm going to set an alert on the line. Basically, I want to see a reversal, but right now we don't have it. Right now, the stock is definitely, it's definitely not reversed. Yeah. Okay. So that's really well. It's sort of. I apologize. It's sort of possibly you could say this is reversed. I just don't think it is. It's pulling back, and it seems like it's having a little bit of issue there. Here's the thing about snow. I probably wouldn't be in it, but I definitely wouldn't be in it at this price. I think you need to be above at least at least 243, and right now it's 230. So right now it's just too low to buy. It doesn't look like it's reversed. Earnings are in one day. You just don't want to buy this one. See how it comes to earnings. See if there's a movement higher. I doubt it's going to be, just based on this chart. They did have last quarter. They had very good earnings. Their sales were up tremendously, 170%. And I suspect the sales are going to be very good for snow this next time. But earnings alone are not going to move the stock. You've got to have more conviction in that. You've got to have more of the funds piling in. I just don't see that right now with snow. So I think you're going to have to watch this and wait for the reversal. And if it moves higher, then and only then, really, are you going to be able to, really have a good place to come into it. Well, I have wasted another hour of your time. Thank you so much, everybody, for taking a look here. We do have an excellent thing. It's called our Action Trade Alerts, and it's easy. It's free to subscribe. Just go to www.Dallas Trading Floor. You need your first and last name and an email address, and we send about several alerts a week on this one. One's going to go out tonight, probably with, I don't know, with a trade or not, but one's going to go out tonight, and very nice service. And of course, we also, if you want to go with some of the plays that we make and access and all that kind of stuff, the best way to go, of course, is with the is with the special Discord service, and that is available at VinnyVHINNY.com/u/Dallas Trading Floor. Okay, well, I will see you back here tomorrow at 2:30. Thank you, everybody, for, let's see if we have one more question. Do we have? Yeah, thank you, everybody, for stopping by. I'll be back at 2:30, and happy trading till then. Looks like the market is changing, so I'm getting very hopeful. I'm starting to come out of cash, so there might be some good opportunities coming up here. Just just be careful, be prudent, put those stop losses in. No more than 7%. Take no more than 7% loss right in this market, and just keep on trucking. And I think that we're going to see we're going to see some great opportunities coming forward. So until 2:30 tomorrow, when I come back, happy trading.